2025. Perhaps the world has never changed so quickly. The economy is unstable, AI is changing everything, faith is shaken, and millions of young people are waking up every morning with a quiet question in their heads. What am I living for? Amid millions of endless races, hundreds of overwhelming choices every day, have you ever felt tired? Not because you are not good enough, but because you no longer know what is enough. Not because you are too slow, but because you are no longer sure where you are running. Today, TY Production does not bring you an absolute answer, but we want to stop with you for a few minutes to talk about real and necessary things. How to stay mentally strong in a chaotic world, how to not be led astray by AI, but still know how to use it to your advantage, and how to find yourself again in an era where everyone is trying to be someone else. This is not just a video, this is a reminder you're not alone, and you don't have to chase after it all to live a meaningful life. How to keep your spirit and faith strong when everything in the world is changing so quickly. In a world full of turmoil like today, maintaining spirit and faith seems to be a big challenge for every person. War, economic crisis, climate change, rapid technological development, and increasingly fragmented relationships make many people feel insecure, confused, and even disoriented. However, in such an unstable situation, the need to find inner stability becomes even more urgent. The first thing everyone needs to realize is we cannot control the world, but we can completely control ourselves. When everything outside is changing rapidly, our attitude, our reactions, and our personal values can become the anchors of our souls. To do that, each person needs to build for themselves mental safety zones. It can be the habit of reading, meditating, writing down thoughts, or simply a period of time each day that is not dominated by technology. Maintaining small but regular habits helps the mind stabilize and have a place to return to in the midst of chaos. Besides, it is also very important to be selective about the information and people you listen to. The world is full of negative words and scary news. But if we only focus on those things, our minds will be led into confusion. On the contrary, when we seek positive inspiration, sincere advice from those who have gone before, or content with humanistic values, we will learn to look at things more calmly. In addition, keeping faith does not necessarily mean believing in something too big, but sometimes it is just believing that we are still trying every day, that tomorrow can be a little better than today. Those small beliefs, when nurtured properly, will become the motivation to overcome the crisis. Finally, we also need to learn to accept change as an inevitable part of life. Not all change is negative. Sometimes change opens up new opportunities, leading us to a better version of ourselves. In short, the world may be chaotic, but if we know how to turn inward, preserve the core and positive things within ourselves, our spirit will not be easily shaken. Maintaining faith in the midst of change is not naivety, but the courage of those who know how to live deeply and take care of themselves. In a fast-paced, run-of-the-mill world caught up in speed and efficiency, how can we slow down to maintain good habits like reading and meditating? Do you realize that? We live in an age where fast is no longer an option, it's the default. News comes faster than we can comprehend. Social media changes our moods by the minute, and everything demands faster, more. But then, have you ever found yourself going very fast without knowing where you're going? In that race, the habit of reading, meditating, or writing thoughts is not a hobby, but an anti-collapse system inside you. It's how you stop, not because you're weak, but because you know what you need. Slowing down doesn't mean falling behind, it means being more selective about what's worth your time and attention. When you read a page of a book instead of surfing the internet, you're retraining your ability to focus, a superpower that the world is losing. When you meditate, you are holding back the human part of yourself in a world that is gradually automating emotions. When you write down your thoughts, you are not just writing, you are untangling your mind, rearranging the interior of your soul's house. So, how to slow down in the midst of a fast-paced life? Set up intentional gaps in your day. 5 minutes without your phone. 10 minutes for a book. 1 minute to breathe. Don't wait until you are free, because this era will not let you be free. You have to proactively create time for yourself. Not everyone who lives fast lives deeply, but those who know how to live slowly are usually those who are truly living. Slow down not to fall behind, but to move in the right direction. How to create good habits like reading, meditating, writing down thoughts, etc. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I always want to change, but everything stays the same? You want to read, meditate, take notes, but end up picking up your phone and scrolling until late at night. You're not lazy, you just don't know the right way to start. The secret is not in willpower, it's in starting small enough to fail. Just 1 page of a book, 1 minute of deep breathing, 1 sentence to record your feelings for the day. Small but consistent. Small but enough to make you stop, listen to yourself, and start seeing life more clearly. And then, when you incorporate good habits into your daily routines, after brushing your teeth, before bed, after a cup of coffee, they stop being an obligation. They become part of who you are. Remember, big changes don't come from one sleepless night, but from small actions you repeat every day. Today, you don't have to be perfect. Just be a little better than yesterday, and you will surprise yourself after a while. Your body and mind will see the benefits of practicing and maintaining this good habit in the current world trend situation. You won't see miracles in a day or two, but if you stick with it, you'll start to notice a lighter body, a quieter mind, and a deeper heart. Reading expands your horizons, heals old patterns, and sharpens your ability to focus, something that's been lost in the age of the fast-paced. Meditation doesn't make you a superhero, but it does teach you something important. Master your emotions before they master you. It teaches you calmness, listening, and the power of silence. Journaling is a way to have a conversation with yourself honestly, without judgment. He helps you see clearly what you're feeling, understand why you're feeling tired, and figure out what's really important. When these habits become a part of your life, you not only become healthier, you become deeper, kinder, and more purposeful. You stop living by reflex and start living on purpose. Start today, gently, but enough to change your life. Does reading, meditating, living slowly slow you down, make you fall behind while the world is racing at an unimaginable speed? The most profound answer lies in quality, not speed. Slow living is not outdated, it's running in the right direction. You're afraid of slowing down because you see the whole world rushing forward. You're afraid of being left behind when others are running, rushing, catching trends every day. But have you ever wondered, do they know where they're running to? Are you sure that what you're trying to catch up with is what you really need? When you read, you don't retreat. You tap into knowledge that has been refined over time, not the junk content that's floating around out there. When you meditate, you don't fall behind. You develop the ability to stand still in the midst of a storm of information, something the modern world lacks and needs. When you slow down, you don't waste time. You are investing in clarity, so that when you need to act, you know what to do, instead of doing everything. You can live fast and still be empty, but if you live slowly in the right way, you will go further because you are walking with your own feet and your heart, not with panic. In the modern world, when everything changes at a dizzying speed, maintaining good habits such as reading, meditating, and writing down thoughts seems like a distant dream. Everyone is caught up in the whirlwind of work, study, and social life, where speed and efficiency are always put first. Along with that is the overload of information, forcing people to always race to keep up with trends, not only in work, also in social relationships. When faced with these demands, the habit of reading, meditating, or simply taking time to reflect seems to be becoming a luxury that only free people can do. So are these habits really necessary and can help us keep up with the current world? Contrary to popular belief, slowing down does not mean falling behind, but rather, it is a way for us to maintain clarity and direction in a chaotic world. Reading, meditating, or writing down thoughts does not waste time, but is a way for us to invest in our own sustainable development. Reading helps us broaden our horizons, discover knowledge from the past, and then apply it wisely to the present. Meditation helps us regain peace of mind, not letting emotional waves dominate, so we can make wiser decisions in all situations. Writing down thoughts helps us understand ourselves better, reduce stress and confusion in our minds, and create opportunities for creativity and innovation. So why do we need to slow down in such a fast-paced world? The simple answer is to avoid being caught up in the meaningless vortex of haste. Sometimes when we are too fast, we easily lose our direction. We do things without understanding why. We chase after unclear goals, and sometimes we ignore the values that are truly important. Taking time to stop, read, meditate, or simply think about life helps us understand ourselves and the world around us better. When we understand what we want, we will know how to focus on truly important goals instead of chasing short-term and unsustainable trends. The advice for today's youth is to learn to slow down in a world that is changing every second. Don't let the rush make you lose your calmness and clarity. Create good habits, private spaces to calm down, think, and develop yourself. Reading is not a luxury, but a way for you to discover the precious things that this life can bring. Meditation is not a separate activity, but the key to keeping your mind steady in an ever-changing world. And journaling is a way to have a dialogue with yourself, helping you understand your core values and long-term goals in life. Remember, the world may change quickly, but you decide the pace. Don't let the rush make you forget the most important things in life. When you slow down and pay attention to good habits, you will go further and be more sustainable in your own journey. If you see yourself in what I just shared, if you are also confused, disoriented, or simply need a gentle reminder to continue, please click like to let us know that you are here, listening and not alone. Don't forget to follow the TY Production channel so that every week we can go through deeper, more real, and more worth living stories with you. And most importantly, leave a comment below, share what you are struggling with, or a small thought after watching the video. Who knows, your story might be the motivation for someone else in need.